Welcome back to another Triathlon Podcast brought to you by Mana Apparel. As always, we're going to chat all things triathlon, and we're going to have some fun making some predictions in the new year. But we've got a special guest today. You know what? His podcast went on a break for a while, and he could not stay away, so he wanted to come on and chat all things triathlon. Sure, he's not sick of it yet, but we've got Mark Matthews joining us. Thanks so much for joining us, Mark. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all good. Thanks for having me on again. It was fun the last time we chatted. And yeah, we're on a break. We do a lot through the year, and I think it's the traveling and all of us actually kind of work in triathlon. So an end of season break is always good, but it also gives you time to do some other stuff. So why not jump on?
Absolutely. We sure appreciate you being here. And I think you might be our only return guest so far. Have we had anyone else on 2 times?
I don't think so.
As always, joined by Josh and Fed as well. And we got something fun. We're going to do a bit of a bingo card setup to make some predictions and talk about what we think will happen in the new year. But first, we're going to kind of catch up with the crew and see what's going on here. And I think we'll start this week with our special guest. Mark, what have you been doing since you've been off the triathlon scene with all the podcasting and racing and all of that fun stuff?
We took a pretty serious end of season break, both of us. We came to your lovely country. We had a few days in New York before Christmas, which was really good. Nice Christmas at home. And then I have kicked the booze and started a health kick since Boxing Day. So what's that, 11 days or so? Trying to get fit enough to do a 70.3 and train with Kat. So yeah, it's been nice.
Do you have a 70.3 that you're targeting, or what are you working towards?
I wouldn't call it targeting.
New Zealand, right?
Yeah, correct. I'm doing 70.3 New Zealand with Kyle Glass from our podcast is also doing it. It starts an hour before the Ironman. It'll be the first time I've raced on the same day as Kat in a very long time. But I'll be finished, hopefully, long before she starts to run, so I can support that.
Who's going to be your Sherpa?
Oh, I don't need a Sherpa. I guess, well, Beth and Luke McKenzie are coming out, and there'll be plenty of the Ironman crowd that will be out and around to cheer me on. James Mitchell, if he makes it down under, is always my go-to Sherpa.
Nice. He's a blast.
And you'll be done to get on the course for her, too, towards the end of the bike and run, yeah?
Yeah, whether I won't see her because there's 2 laps. She'll be through for the second lap before I get out. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know what worst case looks like for me these days. I want to be arrogant and say like 4.5, but that run could be a real long run. So yes, I'll be done long before she starts her run at least.
Now, do you have any worries with Kyle beating you, or is there going to be some head-to-head, or are you leaving him in the dust?
Well, my only worry would be that I could never do a triathlon again. I'd have to retire. I'd have to leave triathlon podcasting, probably delete my Instagram. It's just administrative. That would be the worry.
Fair. It just becomes a pain in the ass after that.
Yeah, no. He's going well. He's training as well. He's lost some weight. He's doing some good stuff. So I hope he beats me. He deserves it.
Awesome. Well, we will definitely be following along, and especially with the kickoff, the Pro Series racing there. Man, it seems like that's right around the corner already. Didn't we just start off season? How are you guys handling that?
Well, for us, it's super soon, right? But March the 7th. I think the nice thing is with the Pro Series starting so early is you can get a couple of your Pro Series races out the way early and then have a mid-season break before the big ones later in the year. I guess that's the idea for most people. But how are you guys finding it? I mean, how do you keep bothered about triathlon for so long?
I mean, I think it's I start running more, and for me, it's been easy switching between marathon and triathlon. It keeps me I stay triathlon training. I stay up on what's going on, but I change my focus a little bit, just enough to keep me going. I'm still swimming and biking and running and strength every day, but I think what it does is it gives me something else to look forward to and keep going and not be full on swim, bike, run the whole time, and focused on the next triathlon. So for me, it's been really nice having some marathon blocks built into triathlon season, and it's really helped me stay fresh and keep going. And it doesn't feel like I'm going to the pool to swim 3K as for a race. I'm just going to stay fit for my run block. So it's kind of actually been a benefit to my triathlon game. We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you tell us a little bit, where are you at right now with the training? What are you up to?
So I'm 8 weeks out, less than 8 weeks from Tokyo. So my run is starting to progress. We've been very careful with being healthy with all the marathon running I did at the end of last year, and just now going to go over 40 miles this week. So still not a lot of volume, but I'm swimming 3 times a week and over 10K a week, and still biking a couple days a week, and doing a lot more strength. So it's kind of like my off season for 70.3 Nice World Champs, but at the same time I'm marathon block training and seeing if I can go sub 3 in Tokyo. And right now I'm hitting a lot of those 8 by 10 by 800 meter tests that you would hit along the way in a training block, and everything's ticking off, and running speeds that I didn't run leading into Chicago are pretty close to it. Still early in the game. So I feel really good. And I said to my coach the other day, I was like, I am running pain-free for the first time ever. And she's like, what are you talking about? I thought you were pain-free for the whole Chicago block. And I was like, I mean, from like first step on, like there's no like buffer to like get warmed up type anything. It's nice to be completely pain-free in a run block, and still swimming and biking. I think that's a huge benefit to what we do as triathletes.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
Josh, what's
Just
good
mixing it
look
up and
like for
keeping it
you?
interesting.
What is good look like in terms of times?
Yeah. Like, what would Tokyo? What would make you happy?
2:59:59 would be great. So I went 3:04, 3:04:07 in Chicago, and there was an attempt there to maybe get to 3, but I felt like it would be smarter to run a huge PR, which I did. So for me, good in Tokyo. If we get the right conditions, it can go either way, as most races can. But if I get the right conditions and tracking the way I'm tracking right now, 258 high, somewhere in there, would be great. And that's probably what we're going to be targeting. So for me, that's in the low 650s, high 640s per mile pace, and run a real smart negative split potentially race. I've done well when I have negative splitted my marathon. So that'll be the goal. And the only thing I got to come up with that race is the fueling is a little different. I'm used to having my own bottle to start a race, and this race you're not allowed to. And we'll figure out how I handle that and get enough fluids in. But I'm a pretty high salty sweater and things like that. So that just game plan stuff that I got to figure out to execute the race. But I think I'm health wise and fitness wise, I'm tracking for sub 3.
It'll be wicked. Yeah, we're excited to see that happen. You've definitely had some crazy PRs over the last year, and definitely tracking that way.
Yeah, we'll see if that can. It's going to kick off the year March 1st, so it's early. Early, and then potentially run London. And then we'll be living in Europe for a few weeks for 70.3 Nice, and then Berlin Marathon a couple weeks after that.
Yeah, we need to
That's the
get Fed
season.
over here for 70.3 Worlds.
Yeah.
And we got to get Fed qualified so that we can all have a little reunion there. Maybe we'll get onto the live podcasting like ProTriNews does with you guys.
Well, you're always welcome to come to ours. The live ones are good fun because you actually get to meet the people that listen and see those kind of the sad weirdos that've got nothing better to do with their time than listen to ProTriNews talk absolute nonsense. But it's actually really rewarding. I like them, and I actually wish we didn't record them. We've started doing like an off record bit at the start, kind of more like a patron, where you can get away with saying what you would actually like to say. That's fun. I'd like to do live shows where they've got the phone covers, like if you're going into Bergheim Club in Germany where the cameras are all blocked out. I'd be up for that.
That would be a blast. Unfiltered and a few drinks in. You guys are always good for providing the drinks and handing out a few tickets, so it definitely makes them more entertaining as well.
Yeah, I'm on a ban from drinking and live podcasts, though, I think, after Texas. Yeah.
Awesome.
I reckon if we all go to Bergheim wearing our tri-suits, we could probably get in.
I reckon. I don't know. I think that's probably the only outfit I own that would get me in. I reckon Jenna can probably pull it off. I don't think the other three of us. I don't think the other three of us are getting into Bergheim ever.
No.
Definitely be entertaining either way. But Fed, let's jump in with you. What do you got going on these days?
Well, I'm starting my season in New Zealand as well, just as Mark, but I'm starting in Challenge Wanaka, so it's a couple of weeks before Ironman New Zealand, which is probably my favorite race out of the whole season, and so starting that right now, I'm in a bit of a swim panic training block because my off season is stay away from the pool, hit the golf courses, and I found a new hobby. So doing this, um,
And tell the audience what you're doing or holding up there.
it's what is it called in English? Embroidering, knitting?
Yeah.
No, yeah,
You've become an old lady, Fed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the cross stitching thing. I have like a 70-year-old old lady inside of me, so that's what I'm doing. Um, and right now in a bit of a panic training block, especially on the swim because I don't want to embarrass myself down in Wanaka. So that's February the 21st, and right now I'm considering flying up to Taupo to watch the race and hopefully watch Mark and Kat race, and that'll be pretty cool. But so Wanaka for me, and swimming like a 70-year-old lady, which is not like news for
There's
anyone.
some fast there that definitely humbled me in some of those
yeah.
pool lanes.
Absolutely.
I think
Wicked.
Taupo's a good one to go watch because you'll get all three Norwegians. Those boys are doing it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you're getting Taylor Nib. You'll get Kat. Maybe get Solvi because I think she's thinking about doing the stuff with the Norwegians, so she might start later. Essentially, like if you're going to go watch a pro race, you want a good pro field, right? And I think you're kind of guaranteed one in New Zealand. I mean, just to see the Norwegians is always fun.
Yeah, 100%.
You're already over on that side of the world, and then you get the 70.3. You get to cheer on some of the age groupers, and then the kickoff of the Ironman world. I mean, it's a mini world championships the way this thing's lining up.
Yeah, absolutely. Those Pro Series races are definitely stacked and making it fun to watch.
Yeah, that'll be pretty cool. So yeah, definitely considering making the jump to the North Island while I'm down there. So that's what I'm doing. Doing a lot of threshold sessions right now, which feel like VO2 max, but I guess when you hit the golf courses in the off season, everything feels horrible. So yeah, that's my life right now.
We still got to find you that 70.3 to qualify in. So
This is true. I'm considering Monterrey here in Mexico, like I think that's March or April. So probably do that, get the 70.3 world slot, and then join you guys in good old France.
Perfect. I love it. Well, on this side of the world here, it is freezing cold in Canada and about minus 25. So it's been all indoor training these days, but I am headed to Qatar in like a week and a half. So this race is happening. I kind of mentioned it before. So I'm doing this race, the Samlo 100 over in Qatar, and it is so random. It's a 3K swim, 22K mountain bike, 21K run, 4K kayak, 22K mountain bike, 29K run. So an ultra trail run just in the middle of there to make it interesting. But I got a couple surprises. They just sent out the rules. There's like no information on this course, nothing on this race. It's the first year it's open to women or internationals. And it said in the rules, you have to have a mountain bike. And I was planning on using my gravel bike with some big chunky tires on there. So I had a mad dash last week to try to find a mountain bike that I could use. Ended up buying one that was on sale. I was pretty limited to what's in stock and what bike shops are open over the holidays to find something to go out there. Like absolutely no road bars. You need to have suspension. I was just like, okay. I've never ridden a mountain bike. I've now done one in my trainer because it's minus 25, and we will
kayak.
See what happens. Yeah, the kayak training has not gone well.
They provide the kayak, I assume, right?
They provide the kayak, thankfully. I did one kayak during the late fall before the lakes froze, so I'm totally ready to go and rock this thing. It'll be awesome. Yeah, it should be fun.
You do have another. There's some names on the start list too, right? And I think we saw one. Annie Emerson's doing it too, but like,
yeah, I'm
somebody
excited.
you might recognize.
Yeah, everyone else bailed on me, so I'm going to Qatar by myself. So I was happy to see that Annie Emerson, I can say her name, was going to be out there, just so there's at least a familiar face while, heading over to the Middle East for the first time. I've never been, so it'll be kind of cool. Looking forward to it. So I am just kind of trying to figure out the shifting on a mountain bike and how to release and do the gears and all that fun stuff, but it should be good to head over. I had to get a different bike bag too because mine is not meant for this massive mountain bike. So all the last minute fun logistics. I had to go see a doctor to get approval to do the race. They need a health check notarized from your doctor. And I'm just like, this is not triathlon, but it's kind of fun because I have no idea what I'm walking into, no idea the course, the elevation, anything, just kind of get fit enough to go and see what happens.
Unbelievable. It just all of a sudden snuck up too. So you'll have to, if there's any type of tracking or anything, you'll have to share that with us.
Yes, definitely. It'll be fun. It'll be so good. But let's jump into, we've decided to do a bingo board this year just to make some predictions, some things that we think will happen in the triathlon world, and have some fun with it. Some of these are what we actually think will happen. Some of them are just kind of off the wall, see if it comes up. But I wanted to start with our free space this year. So our free space in the middle is going to be a commentator says that this is the most stacked field ever, because God knows we are going to hear that about 1 million times at every single pro race and T100 race that we jump into. What do you guys think? Are odds pretty good of getting that one filled?
I mean, it's pretty free. Yeah, you might as well check that one off now.
Yeah, that's a certainty. Like every year, or is this the greatest race we've ever seen? Is this the greatest field you've ever seen? I mean, there is something to be said for it, the way the sport has grown, but it's getting to be a bit of a cliche, and we're all guilty of it, right?
For sure. Absolutely. Well, let's dive into some ones that might actually have some different outcomes. So as you guys all know, we're sponsored by Mana Apparel, and the three of us, excluding Mark, race in Mana, and we had a big announcement come up with Yella Geens is now going to be racing in Mana Apparel as he goes for his 3-time 70.3 World Championship bid next year, and potentially some long course too. So our number one box is that Yella Geens will win his 3rd Ironman 70.3 World Championships. Now, it's been done on the women's side, but it's never been done on the men's side. What do you guys think? Does he have that one?
I think I added one that will give him a better chance at winning the 3rd time, because I don't think it's not that I don't think. I think there's a slight chance that Hayden doesn't even qualify for 70.3 Worlds just because of his focus on the T100 and now WTCS kicking back up and having to build points up if he's going after LA. So maybe Hayden doesn't qualify for 70.3 Worlds, which means Yella Geens is your 3-time world champ, just based on what other people are focused on.
I like that. Actually, let's add that as
Yeah, the only thing that stops that is Yella is doing Ironman New Zealand, I believe. So he will presumably qualify because he's talented enough for Kona. There's 4 or 5 slots. That's 5 weeks after. So he starts long course training for the first time ever. Does that blunt his speed? Is KB's all-roundness enough to unshake him? The course he climbs so well, and I don't know. I don't think Yella will get his 3rd, but just because I think it's so hard. I could see him winning New Zealand in his first Ironman, though. That would be interesting. Him v the 3 Norwegians running 42K together would be an excellent way to start the year.
Yeah, he's been a little hesitant to announce which Ironman he's going to do or kind of confirm it all together. So it'd be really fun to see him kind of go out and rip that one up and give the Norwegians a little shot and break up their podium sweeps.
Yeah, I'm with Mark on this one. I think Yella I think he's focusing more on the long distance this year. And if he shows up in New Zealand, and definitely all eyes in Kona. So probably not making it a 3-peat, not because he's not able, but because probably he's choosing a different route.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I like that one that you brought up here, Josh, for our second square, that Hayden Wilde won't even qualify for 70.3 Worlds to be in the mix there. I know. I would think there's so much chatter about whether he would have won it this year if he had gone in or not. But I like your thought that he might just focus on the WTCS and these T100 races. What do you guys think there? Is he going to try to get a 70.3 world spot?
I would say, so behind the scenes, I'm led to believe he asked for the slot for this year and they said no. So, because he hadn't made an effort to qualify. And then I think his reaction to them was extremely upset. You could say he went absolutely ballistic at Ironman. So I wonder whether he's stubborn enough and bitter enough to just deliberately not do it. And I do think he's stubborn enough, but I also think he's probably so proud and self-assured that he wants to go batter the Norwegians and Jelle. And let's be honest, after this year, Ironman world titles are still worth more than T100 races. So I think he'll try, but if he doesn't, I reckon it could be a bit of behind the scenes politics if he doesn't.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that. Well, let's jump into some of the T100 predictions. We've got T100 will change at least one announced race location drastically. What do you think? Have they gotten things kind of figured out and decided to lock everything down first, or are we going to see another random race location change?
I think this is the year we might actually see the 8 races plus the 9th final be the actual 8 locations. I think that I think we're going to see 8 races in the locations that they've announced already. I think they're going to that part of the T100 will be done correctly this year.
I agree. I agree, but there is the thing that all of the big change they're making is for 2027. So they are, I believe, buying out another triathlon race organization. They've announced that they are partnering with World Triathlon. They're launching 100 races. They're doing all this stuff. That's a lot of focus ahead. And could they then drop the ball this year? I don't know. I think you're right, though, Josh. I reckon they've got it sorted. I hope they have, because what they delivered this year after the pretty horrendous start to the year they had was really good come the end of the year. So I hope Josh is right. But if they don't, I reckon it's too much on their plate for 2027.
And the fact that there's now like a clear focus on getting T100 into the Olympics in 2032 or 2036, and I mean that's there's a lot going on. They're pulling in a lot of pieces, like Mark said, and if the focus doesn't stay on the product of this year, then maybe something does drop.
Now, Mark, you don't have to answer if you don't want to yet, but will we see Kat at any of the T100 races now that they've kind of changed up the format so that you don't have to do all of the series events?
There's no plan to at the moment. Kat has 5 second places at Ironman World Titles, so that's the thing that needs addressing first. And I don't think there's much kudos in winning a standalone T100 or even going, podiuming a standalone T100 event. There's a lot. I mean, there's more money and everything going and winning Texas, and with that, you then get the series that she's basically has to do 2 of the races anyway because she wants to do the world title. She has to qualify, so she has to do 3 of the pro series anyway. Why not go do 2 more of those and, hopefully walk home with another 200 grand? So no. And I'm not sure there's any. I mean, if London was a T100, then maybe. But otherwise, it doesn't want to go race in the Middle East for 100K with no spectators and stuff like that. So no, but it's not off the cards, and certainly not for 2027 when they've got, a huge amount of new stuff coming up. So yeah.
Fair enough. Well, let's go into the one that I know has been front and center for the ProTriNews crew that I'm sure has been brought up more than once in your group chat there, is will we see Ironman change the draft zone to 20 meters for pros? Let's start with Fed here. What do you think? Are they going to make the change?
Well, one thing is what do I think, and one thing is what do I wish. And then I don't think they're going to 20 meters. I think maybe 15. But I don't know. I don't know why. Like, there needs to be some sort of explanation from Ironman of why they've been so hesitant to changing the distance. But hopefully, yes. Realistically, probably not.
Definitely not this year.
Yeah. Did you guys see that interview with Jimmy Riccatello on Slow Twitch? I couldn't listen to the whole thing, but it was just, they kept going on about how it would make it too challenging for people to have a different draft zone for the pros versus the age groupers. It's like, we already have different rules for the age groupers in some regards. And then he's like, well, looped courses will make it challenging. It's like, well, if a pro is going past you on a loop course, they're going way faster than whatever age group is going by. So how, like, none of it makes any actual sense. What do you think, Mark? What have your guys' conversations been around? Do you think they will actually change it?
Well, I've got our group chat muted at the moment because it's literally all that's being talked about. And I'm bored of it, to be honest. No, I don't think they'll change it. What I don't like is the bad faith arguments on both sides. I don't particularly care. And Kat, for instance, doesn't care. In all other sports, the national governing body, the federation, the company, whatever it is, set the rules and the athletes turn up and they race to those rules. That's the way sport works, right? So if Ironman go to 20, great, there's perks to it. But I don't like the bad faith arguments. I won't go into the Ironman ones because, like you just said, that's a nonsense argument from Jimmy. It's just complete rubbish. Like they don't really interact. It's mainly men interacting with the back of the women's field, and you just lay the rules and start throwing some penalties, get that done with. And I don't like the bad faith arguments for the 20. People saying it's fairer. That's nonsense. It's not fairer. It's a different sport. It advantages different people.
Yeah.
It's like saying, does making the hurdles, if you increase the height of hurdles in the 110-meter hurdles, is that fairer? No, it just gives an advantage to taller athletes or better jumpers, etc. There's so many examples in sport where you could change something in the sport that just, it's not fairer. It shifts the advantage. There are good arguments, and one that I saw Talbot used on a post that I've said for a while is like the speed of the sport has increased, so the relative effect of drafting at 12 meters is greater than it used to be. Stick with that argument, great, like that's golden. So I don't care really what happens. I don't think the argument it's more entertaining is true. Like, the races are more entertaining at 12 meters, but is that just because they're the big races? Kona always wins on our polls. 70.3 is always second on our polls. Worlds, we'd never, they are always more entertaining than the current 20 meter races. And thirdly and finally, big people that gob off about this all the time on their YouTubes, people like Lionel, these Uber cyclists, invariably turned down T100 contracts or didn't go to T100 races. If you actually want to race 20 meters that much, go do a 20-meter race. There's loads of them, but they don't. So don't be a hypocrite about it. And on top of that, if you think 20 meters is going to make your race way better, but you still get absolutely spanked at T100, you're probably talking shit. So I think 20 is where we should go to because the sport's the speed has increased, but I don't like the arguments around it. That's where I stand.
I mean, Lionel would have to learn how to swim in order to go to T100 too, so that would change a lot of his training. I think one of the I think pieces of data that you guys put out today, Mark, or Talbot put out in the ProTriNews posts about all of this with the survey with the pro athletes was the change in the times over years at Kona, and it's been kind of up and down, a little bit faster with the swim and a little bit faster with the run, but the bike's like exponential. And a lot of that comes to obviously the technology getting a little bit better with the bikes themselves, but then it's the 12 meters and the speeds and the impact that would have. So I think that piece of data right there alone is like, hey, look at this. The bikes aren't that much faster, but the drafting and the humans have become when you put them all together.
The humans have become faster. The drafting is not why the speeds have gone up, because all the records, both Daniel O'Reif's and Sam Laidlow's, were done completely solo off the front for the whole way. So the humans have got faster. And what that means is those then sat at 12 meters further back, they are getting more of an advantage than they used to. Because the draft, the zone of, it's like, you get more draft on a car going 100 miles an hour than you do going behind a car going 30 miles an hour. That's where the good argument lies. Do I think it changes any of the results, which people seem to think it will do? But Laidlow can still go solo on a 20 meter. He's done it in London. He's done it on lots of others. It would make it easier for him to go solo. I think there's one or two athletes that the results might change for them slightly if it goes to 20. But in reality, I still think there's a significant draft at 20, and I think people will just adapt their training to focus slightly more on the bike, and the results will be the same. So I'm not sure it's worth all this rigmarole. I don't think it's a beautiful miracle cure that a lot of age groupers and fans think it is. I also found it surprising how many pros voted out of their own personal interest, and I wonder whether they are all that. Well, yeah, like shit cyclists voting for 20. There's loads and loads and loads of them in our polls. Well, why are you doing that? Now, are they all altruistic and they think it's right for the sport? Or have they just been bombarded into it by like relentless online chat that 20 is the way, and if you draft at all, you're not as a respectable athlete? And then there's the wording of the questions. There was that was a bit skeptical for me. But like, I think people are afraid to say they like 12 because you're seen as being weak. And we've made it to that point. And let's be honest, the main people who've done that is ProTriNews. And then the years of like age groupers and slow twitch forums and stuff. So I'm not sure you're actually getting an honest response from a lot of athletes because they're just afraid to say, oh, can we make it? I'd rather 6, to be honest. Like, some of the athletes that voted 20 should be voting for non-draft, I tell you.
And I wonder if they almost think, yeah, it'll hurt my race, but it'll hurt someone else's more, kind of thing. If they have someone that's kind of around them and they're close enough, but they're sticking with me because they have that 12 meters.
Yeah. I think like Mark brings up a good point too. Like, a lot of it is just the perception of like, I need to do this, or in order to be at the top of the game, I need to have that mindset. I think it's even trickled into, I think we heard it from Georgia Taylor Brown with the carb intake. Like, all of a sudden she started taking all these carbs on the bike and she couldn't get through a run without cramping or puking. And then she realized that's not what I can take. And I was like, you got this 160, 180 gram mentality where it's not meant for everyone. And no matter who you are. So I think that mindset, in the sport of that macho-ness is there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's move on from the drafting because I know there'll be tons of conversations about this come the new year. The next one I have on the list is whomever wins Ironman Texas won't win Kona. So the thought before used to be if you win like Frankfurt in June, July, those Germany races, you weren't going to win Kona. But now I think we've started the season so much earlier. Do you think that someone could win in Texas, turn it around, have a little bit of a break, and then be fit again for Kona? What do you think, Josh?
Texas is a little earlier this year, so that extra week could be a factor. I think Mark can answer this question better than anyone with where Kat's gone from Texas to Kona and the struggles there, and how much of Texas has been a factor there. We haven't seen it much. I still think it's doable, though. If the focus of the rest of the season is strictly on Kona, I think it obviously can be done if you do Texas and go right into Kona. Where I think it becomes difficult is that Pro Series focus and mindset on the big check at the end of the year and checking the boxes on some 70.3s and going after the full points, which Kat has done successfully for 2 years, and no one else has. So I think there's a lot of implications there with the Pro Series being a factor.
What do you think, Mark? You're definitely more the expert in this one.
I don't know where we got Texas from because Solveig Losseth won. She had a debut in Hamburg. She won Lake Placid, which is way later. Then she won Kona. The year before, Laura Philipp won Roth, and then like 8 weeks later won Nice. The men, the Norwegians didn't. That one particular Norwegian didn't win, but they basically they raced each other, right? And they did Texas and Frankfurt, and still essentially all of them won Nice in just a massive battle. I think there are some athletes that really benefit from this uber focus, but I think because of the carbs and because of the resilience to training and stuff like that, people are able to race more. Now, yes, some are definitely doing too much, and Kat's may be guilty of that. But, she was 35 seconds off winning Kona, having won Texas. And then I just go back to my Solveig argument. So, yeah, absolutely. It just depends who chooses it. I mean, if Lucy Charles turns up and wins Texas, are you guys going to sit there and say she now can't win Kona? I really doubt it.
Yeah, my thought around the Texas thing was because it was so early. So if someone's like peak shape and ready for Texas and has a whole bunch of racing to go, especially after doing New Zealand shortly beforehand, that could make it a little bit more challenging in Kona. But like you said, the recovery is insane these days with how many carbs they're taking on board. People are bouncing back quickly. Yeah, Mark.
I think that's a good point. I think it actually applies to the men more than the women because there's the depth in the men that if you win that, you have to be really good because there's just so many good men. But I think we have this kind of gap between the top few women, top 5 women, let's say, and the rest. I think it's really fair to say Taylor and Kat were nowhere near their best in Texas and still were comfortably the best 2 athletes. So I think the women can turn up undercooked, win a New Zealand, win a Texas, say, and still be favourites. But you can't turn up undercooked to the men's race, even if you're one of the very best in the world, and expect to win. So that I think there's maybe a difference as well.
How about you, Fed? Any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I would have to agree with Mark. I think it depends on which athlete. Like if it's on the men's side, of course you need to be super fit and ready if you want to win Texas, and then that creates a lot of problems to carry that fitness over Kona. So maybe on the men's side, it's quite a bit of a stretch to win both. But yeah, on the women's side, like Mark was mentioning, you can turn up if you're one of the top athletes. You can sort of like muscle your way through a victory in Texas and then use that fitness and build to get to Kona super fit and ready. So it just depends really what race we're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Well, on this next one, a few of these I'll have you just say yes or no, whether you think it will happen or not. So, next one we have coming up here is Lionel Sanders will make a drastic shift in either his training or nutrition philosophy in 2026. What do you think, Fed? Yes or no?
100% yes.
Josh?
No.
Really?
ChatGPT all the way.
How about you, Mark? Will Lionel make a big shift? Yes or no?
I mean, yeah, like history, surely, every year.
History repeats for sure. Okay, we got this next one here. We have Alex Yee will break the British marathon record by chasing another marathon next year. What do you guys think? We'll start with you, Mark. Do you think Alex is going to do another marathon to try to get it? It's getting crazy fast.
I saw Alex about 3 hours ago in the swimming pool. And I was like, what are you up to? He's like, oh, just getting back into it. I was like, oh, triathlon. He said, yeah, that's what I'm telling people anyway. I was like, well, that's not helpful. Like, give me what you're actually doing. Like, that's really evasive. So I think he's got to be tempted by the Olympics, right? But he's already got 2 Olympic golds, has he? And something else, a bronze. So what do I think? No, I think he'll do triathlon for the year.
Yeah. Okay. I guess we're going to start getting to that point where he has to get some of those Olympic ranking points and get after it. But man, it's just crazy how fast that guy went in a marathon. We've got another one here. So, Mark, this will be to you. We have 2 podcasts that call themselves the #1 triathlon podcast. Are we going to have a Race Ranger style report where we see who actually has more downloads and is the biggest podcast in triathlon?
I think the numbers probably show Jack's biggest podcasts are bigger than ours, but I think consistent average listeners, we're probably bigger than Jack. But I don't really care about that side of it. I know some of the other boys do. I know Jack certainly does. Whatever.
Fair enough.
Jack didn't take an off season, so in his eyes, he's winning.
Oh, and he didn't
that way.
Oh, he didn't half love to mention that, didn't he? Just what are you even talking about at this time of year? And if you want to carry on, just carry on. Don't make it a virtue signaling contest about how selfless you are to your listeners. Jeepers. Anyway.
Oh, love it. Okay, we got the next one on here. We have a woman will go sub 8 hours in an Ironman this year. What do you guys think? Yes or no? I'll start with you, Mark. We're going to see Kat go sub 8?
Yes, and it's whether she's the first to do it or not, I would guess. I think there's a few courses you can do it on. I said on our show, I actually think it's possible in Texas with the right weather conditions. Kat went 8:10 with a bit of a walk on the run, and she could run 10 minutes faster almost on that course if pushed, but the wind was super low. It wasn't too hot. I could see someone doing it there, but that would be a stretch goal. You could do it in Hamburg easily. And Roth is not as fast as I thought it was. I think Roth was better when the women rode up to the back of the age group men, the pro men, and got towed round, like they swam up to them. I think if Roth goes to 20 meters and that doesn't happen, that's actually fairly hard to do. But yes, I think he'll go.
How about you, Josh? What do you think? Are we going to see that sub-8?
Yes, I think so. I think I've listened to Mark's confidence in it enough to believe in it, and I think we've been so close. It takes the right conditions. The athletes are already there and ready to go.
How about you, Fed? Yes or no? We're going to see sub-8.
I'm gonna go yes, 100%. And I'm gonna throw a curveball out there. It's not gonna be at a race we expect it to happen. So it's gonna be like out of the blue at a random race that we did not see sub-8 coming.
So it may be something like we saw the sub 230 and we were surprised they didn't win it. It was some random race and they came in second place.
Something like that, probably.
I really hope it's not that, because it just takes away from it. Because if it is that, it's not one of the big athletes that we know can do it legitimately, because they will all race the big races that they're doing something. So if it's like a Cozumel, which is honestly, Kat actually looked at entering Cozumel and just going straight to it after Kona, but then she just woke up and realized that was stupid. I just would love to see it go in a battle between, two titans, Solveig, Lucy, whatever, somewhere big. But yeah, I think Fed could be right, unfortunately.
Okay, next one we got is Maddie Hauser dominates the WTCS again. What do you guys think the odds are if we see Hayden and Alex coming back to World Triathlon?
I think that those guys are going to come back to World Triathlon. I don't think that they're going to be at peak form at that speed where Maddie Hauser has already been for the last year. And it's going to take a full season for them to get there. And then really in 2027, you might see a Hayden or Alex back competing with Hauser. But this year it's Maddie again.
Okay. How about you, Fed? Any thoughts?
Yeah, I think Maddie Hauser is hungry. He doesn't have an Olympic gold yet, and he has all his eggs on that basket. So I think Matt Hauser is going to be the one to watch on this Olympic cycle, and he's laser focused and he has the goods. Of course, we're going to see like a lot of competition between him, Hayden, and Alex come LA, but I think Matt Hauser is going to be the one dominating the WTCS circuit up until the Olympics.
How about you, Mark? Did you see anything from Alex's swim today that says he's going to come back in and crush Maddie?
He was swimming down the other end of the pool. I didn't see him swimming. I think any race that Alex gets off the bike with Matty Hauser, Alex will pump him. I just think he's so good. But it's whether, I think the way Matt Hauser raced this year, the aggression in the swim, the attack at the start of the bike, I think Alex needs Hayden. Alex needs Hayden to ride him up, or a couple of others. So I'm going to go with Fed. I reckon Matt Hauser was just brilliant this year, and I love the way he races.
Love it. Okay, we got another one here. Hayden Wilde gets beaten at a T100 this year. What do we think? Yes or no? What do you think, Mark?
It wasn't even close this year. He didn't even get tested. Unless someone else comes across and does them, or he has a real dip in form, he's unbeatable at that distance at the moment.
How about you, Fed? What do you think?
Yeah, unless he rides, of course, no chance.
You know what? I think sometimes we see these dominating athletes come in for a while and perform at a really high level, but then backing it up sometimes the next year, we don't see them perform at the same level. Something like Taylor Knibb was so dominant forever, and then we kind of saw that dip. It sounds like there's some other things going on, but I would not be surprised if we see someone kind of pick it up, actually focus on the T100 with more of that shifted focus maybe with Hayden if he's going to start chasing that short course, because we haven't seen him do as well as he has done in the past there.
But how do they outrun Hayden?
Okay.
Like the problem is they have weaknesses. Like Taylor had a run weakness and people learned to exploit it. Hayden's the best cyclist and the best runner, and his swimming is 20 seconds off the pace. It's like, and who in the sport can come in and can outrun Hayden? You can't even say the Norwegians can do it. Yella can't do it. Unless Matt Hauser but who actually also can't outrun Hayden head to head pure when they're both in great form. It's hard for me. I think we're stuck with Hayden for a while.
So, guys, I wanted to ask you something, and Mark first. We've seen how much attention to detail Hayden has put on his bike, And he mentioned at the end of the T100 season that he hasn't even tapped to his full potential on the bike. Do you reckon if he taps into that, we're going to see like a world domination on Hayden Wilde and just rides off everybody and just cruises around next season? Or we might see him blow up chasing this Uber biker style of racing?
I don't know what he means by hasn't tapped into full potential. He's been racing forever. Does he think like slightly different training is going to make him an Uber biker? Is he focusing a lot on his running? And I think you're right, Fed. I think if he really thinks he needs to ride faster, his running will fail. You only have so many calories to burn in a week, however you want to measure it. I think you're right. I don't know why he would. Like, he can't be dropped on the bike. Like, he's too good already. No one's dropping. Maybe Laidlow, maybe. But then how much time does he run into Laidlow? Otherwise, he can ride with everyone else and he's a better runner than them. If I was him, I'd be saying, we do not change anything. And if I want to do an Ironman, I maybe just do a couple more longer runs in the week. That's it.
Maybe it's mind games. Maybe he's playing with the competition, like just installing fear in their heads.
I would just let his results do that, to be honest.
Fair enough. Okay, we got the next one on here. Mark, we'll go to you. Will Kat Matthews have a three-peat in the Pro Series win next year? Is that her goal that she's gone for?
She's going to do the Pro Series. Yeah, I think so. I think she's really good at just getting races ticked off. I think she will. Yes, three-peat. Why not?
Perfect. The next one here, are we going to see another Norwegian clean sweep on the podium? It sounds like it was funny to see that video they put out for their acceptance for Coach of the Year between the three of them. If you guys haven't already, go to ProTriNews and see how each of the three Norwegians congratulated each other on being Coach of the Year as they all had some crazy results. Are we going to see that momentum continue in the new year? Fed, what do you think?
No.
No?
I don't think. No. I mean, it's good. It's a good narrative, and it's good for media having Norwegian sweep the podium. But I think this year we're gonna see some interesting things, I reckon. And yes, we're gonna see Norwegians on the podium, of course, but not a 1, 2, 3.
Okay, I like it. How about you, Mark? What do you think?
Kona's a different beast. Nice has got the climb. It makes it more of a bike-heavy race. Kona's definitely more of a run race at the end, especially for the men. So no, because I think it makes it slightly less predictable. I think, the chances are one of them will have an absolute shocker. And I think Martin van Riel might be really good. I think he had a pretty horrible run up to Nice and was still very good. I think he's pretty solid in the heat. I'm going to pick Martin van Riel to upset the sweep.
I like it. Yeah, and we've definitely on our side been chatting about the Yellow Games. If he kind of pops up and starts to do the long course, we'll be so curious to see what he does there as well. But those three, they definitely have a target on their back. I know they did before, obviously, because they're incredible, but I think that clean sweep really is front of mind, and people are going to want to be the guy who gets in the mix there and kind of messes that up for them. Awesome. We've got our next one here, and this will kind of be the final one. I think we'll break this up into a couple episodes here because we could definitely go on and on about these forever. So our next one is Cam Wurf will win a Pro Series race. What do we think? Is he still racing triathlon next year as hard as he was? We saw him get the bike record in Texas this year. Do you think he could take one of the Pro Series races?
One of my absolute favorite guys in the sport, but he's the nicest guy. He's great for the sport. He's fun. He's got no chance.
It's getting fast in there. It was so fun to see him get that bike record in Texas. I think he was so dominant on the bike for a long time, but then everyone else kind of got into the aerodynamics and got so much faster on the bike too with all the carbs and aerodynamics and everything. I think he's just a little bit past. How old is he? He's like 43 or 44 now. He's getting up there.
Is he actually?
Check.
I mean, this is like his third sporting career, right? He's rode, he's he's ridden.
Yeah, he's 40.
Oh, is he? Okay. Oh, sorry for adding years to your age, Cam.
I only say he's got no chance just because these races are just coming down to running races, and he cannot run with there aren't that many Pro Series races, and in every single one of them, you will have some Uber runner turn up, and that's where Cam will get done. Could he come fifth in Kona? Sure, because he'll just muscle his way through. I think winning a Pro Series race takes a special run, unfortunately, because I would love to see Cam win.
Absolutely. Well, I think we'll tap off the bingo card thoughts for this episode, and we'll go through the rest of them on our next one. But let's close off with Mark. Is there any insight into where ProTriNews is going to have some live shows? And then any insight you can give us into your and Kat's schedule?
Kat, can I say your schedule?
Did you hear the no? I can't. I'm not allowed to tell you the schedule. Well, she's starting the year in New Zealand, as you know. So you'll see her there, and you'll see her at both World Champs. There'll be another Ironman in there, right, for the Pro Series. So that's Kat's schedule. We have sort of confirmed, but there's some races like to announce, you know. And ProTriNews, well, we did a lot of live shows last year. So we'll definitely do New Zealand. We'll definitely do Kona. We'll definitely do Nice. We'll probably do Texas. We'll probably do, the boys will probably go across to Oceanside because that's great. I'd like to do Frankfurt maybe, or even if I can get one of them over and do the women's race in Hamburg. Either I reckon we'll do 7 or 8. I think we need to get one in Canada. Apparently, we've got a big audience there. But yeah, we'll do loads.
Vancouver, the T100.
Well, yeah, that's what we promised to
T100.
do. We promised to do 2 T100 races because we've neglected them, and we are known as Pro Ironman News. So we have an invite from Sam Relief, and we're going to go to at least 2 T100. So why not Vancouver?
You know, to their credit, Ironman makes it a lot easier to be pro Ironman News sometimes than T100 does. Just they're super accommodating, right? And make it easy to kind of show up to those events and get some coverage of it for sure.
Yeah, people like Dan Berglund and the guys at Ironman will always try and help you when you can. I'm not saying that T100 don't, to be honest. I think Ironman just reach out more. And also, when we've just beefed on T100 for so long and you've given them so much crap, it feels a little bit awkward then going, hey, can we get media passes? You know.
So we can give you shit after the race about all the things you did wrong, but can you just let us come watch it up close and personal?
Exactly.
Which, Mark, what would be a bigger surprise? The T100 getting their shit together, or Man United getting back on playing good football?
T100, they're going to sort it out long before Man United play any decent football. They are absolutely terrible these days. But Man United fans are like rats. You're never more than 6 feet away from one. So you need to be careful what you say about them.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, I think we'll close it off there for the week. We sure appreciate you coming on and giving us some of your thoughts and just kind of catching up with where you're at with the season. We look forward. When does ProTriNews come back on the airwaves?
I think mid-February, maybe February 7th, something like that, mid-Feb, when there's something to talk about. Because we don't, you guys do some different stuff, and some podcasts do interviews and things like that. We try and keep it pro racing, what's coming up, what's just happened. The middle of the winter, that's not our bread and butter. And we try quite hard not to diverge into other stuff. We occasionally do, these big pushes for changes like the 1220, or like the really good one that Talbot did was the drug testing that World Triathlon then put in for T100.
Yeah.
Like we push some of those agendas, but by and large, we just try and stick to, what's happening, what's coming up. And there's not much going on right now, and everyone needs a break. And I think it gives me a chance to get my internet sorted as well. I am sorry for you guys that had to put up with that. So yes, we'll be back mid-Feb, but appreciate your support on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. Well, until the next time we chat, have a great afternoon and good evening, Mark. See you guys.
See ya.